Hello, hello. Magandang gabi po sa kanilang lahat. Hello po, mga homeschoolers. Okay, at hindi mga homeschoolers, magandang gabi po sa kanilang lahat. It's truly a privilege to be here. Specifically with this event, it's very special to my heart, ang pag-asa sa pagbasa. Okay, do we have an audience there right now? Okay. Okay, natutuwa po kami at you are here watching and listening to us tonight. I just want to tell you, we are here. We are not telling you guys na, okay, meron na pala. Mina Aquino, hello. Hi, Grace Zapanta Mendoza, hello. Good evening. Okay. Magandang gabi po sa kanilang lahat. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Hello, Ryan. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, invite your kids. Okay, invite your husbands as well. You can join us tonight. Okay. As I was saying a while ago, we are doing this advocacy for you. Hindi mo sasabihin na kailangan gumaya ko or anything. We are here using this platform to be of help and be a blessing to each and everyone in our own little way. Hello. Hi, Christine Belen. Hello, Melissa. I like that heart. I like that. Thank you so much. Thank you po sa ating mga mainstay na lagi pong sumusubaybay sa iHomeschool. For your information, we are also live sa PAG-ASA sa Pagbasa in our Facebook account. So you can also watch there. Hello, Mina. Hello, Grace. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for being one in this advocacy. Marami pong salamat. But yeah, it is a long evening and we are so excited with our program tonight. And we would like to start na po para po maganda po ang ating launching na gagawin with Pag-asa sa Pagbasa. First, I would like to introduce my dear friend, okay? My dear friends from Philippine Homeschool Association. Jihan Osoryatan and Kay Magpayo or Catherine Magpayo. Hello, Dis.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hello. So, I'm just gonna introduce the founders, slowly. And next, my dear friend, okay, ito, grabe lang, pag talagang pareho kayo ng interest, talagang kindred spirit and heart. So I'd like to introduce to you from Book Hug, the reading activation by Tinky Cruz. Tinky Cruz. Okay. Ayan, kanina Philippine Homeschool Association. Now, Tinky. There, Tinky. So please bear with us. Dahil first time po namin na madami.
Hi, good
Hello,
evening,
Tinky.
everyone. Hello, welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Okay. I just want to ask, can you hear us clearly, audience? Can you give us like a heart? Kung okay, clear naman daw tayo, sabi ni Gisa Mendoza. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, our dear friends from Valley Bar, Pia Domingo and Pia Paderes.
Hello.
Hello, Pia.
Hello, hi.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sobrang excited. Ang dami natin sa StreamYard. First time to.
Yay.
Hi, Trina. Hi, Ryan. Thank you so much. Okay, medyo nagkakaroon tayo. Yan. Ballet Bar. And syempre, last but not the least, my dear friend. Nako, ito more than 10 years na po kami magkakilala. Janet Suson. Okay, wala siyang organization because lahat kami organization niya. O, diba? Very special. Thank you, Ate Janet. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies, for just doing this advocacy with each and every one of you. Okay. So start na tayo ngayon. Nagtatanong sila, my dear friends, bakit ba natin to ginawa? Bakit ba pag-asa sa pagbasa? Okay. Where do we start? Maybe I can start with Jihan or Kay. Yeah.
Hello, good evening again. Pag-asa sa pagbasa, this is our response really for the time that we are now in. We are in a pandemic and I'm sure marami sa mga pamilyang Pilipino nahihirapan bumili ng mga educational resources and maybe procure books. And so this is our response as a homeschooling community. We would like to extend help for those who really need educational resources to make sure that education continues for their children.
Yeah. I agree with that. Kasi, okay,
Yes, I agree. Actually, when Miss Novi told me about this advocacy, I was so excited because I really wanted to help out, to reach out, but didn't have the avenue to do it. So this is the perfect avenue to help kids or reach out to those who really need these books and school materials.
Yeah. Kasi sa totoo lang po, ang Philippine Homeschool Association, yun nga with Tinky rin later, she's gonna talk about it. Dapat meron po kaming plano na we will have homeschoolers library in every city. Pero
Yeah.
hindi natuloy dahil nga sa pandemic na to. And that's why, doon ko po na-meet si Tinky Cruz. So Tinky, can you tell us your story, the why?
Books, free books in libraries and barangay centers in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Kaya lang, for the past 4 months, sirado yung mga eskwela at sarado din ang mga library. So we're seeing, sayang naman the books, sayang naman the brains of the kids who are willing to listen, willing to learn, willing to read. So we've been giving out to families instead. So nag-house to house kami. So we released the books. I think it's a great disservice to the authors na nakastuck yung books sa cabinet, no, sa library, tapos walang nagbabasa. So I'm here with this pag-asa sa pagbasa to give hope, to give light, to give happiness and knowledge to everyone who wants it. Yun lang.
Yes, thank you so much, Tinky. Grabe si Tinky, meron yung libraries in every region sa buong Pilipinas. So thank you for what you're doing, Tinky. Thank you for partnering with us in this endeavor. Thank you so much.
Medyo malungkot minsan na yung books yung mga malapit sa dagat.
Yeah.
So, tapos minsan nala-landslide yung mga library na pinuput up namin. We used to have 37. So, ngayon 29 na lang. Pero sirado nga sila ngayon. So, now we were saying, iabot pa rin yung mga books sa mga gusto. Sa lahat ng bata na gusto. Babae, lalaki, mahirap, mayaman, kailangan nagbabasa ang mga bata.
Yes, that's good. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Now, my dear friends from Ballet Bar, Pia.
Hey, Novi. Thanks for inviting us here. Really, really a privilege. Actually, it's overwhelming hearing from the friends that I met here just because of this project. No, Tinky, Jihan, Kay. Overwhelming yung mga mga desire to just bring the books to overwhelming. But our basically started just within our staff. We wanted to give books to our staff, and then I called Novi. I said, Novi, do you have something? We really just wanted to help a small group of people. But it is really a privilege to be able to make this and be part of a bigger cause. So thank you for inviting us to be part.
Yeah. Pia, you want to add to that?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, actually, it was a really pleasant surprise na from that small request by Pia, and then Novi all of a sudden made this big organization, if I may say, a big organization. It's very you have such a big heart. Thank you for doing this for our staff, but for the whole Philippines. I hope everyone will be able to benefit from this project.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the privilege, Pia. Thank you so much. Thank you for your heart. And syempre, si Ate Janet Suson. Okay,
Hi.
thank you, Ate.
And so when Novi talked to me, I was really happy that during this time she has the heart to do this, and of course being a homeschooler also, and my kids loving books, all of us here in the family actually, uh, I want to see other families receiving this gift also, that they will be able to do that, and the heart also of bringing the family together through reading. That's also a great endeavor, di ba? Ayun. So, it's an honor really to be here with you ladies. Thank you, Novi, for calling me, and I'm able to join you here.
Okay. Ang pag-asa sa pagbasa po ay kami pong lahat, hindi po ako to. Grabe lang po yung lahat ng sinishare namin yung talent. So, team po kami rito. Team na team. So, thank you so much, each and every one of you, and I honor each and every one of you. Thank you. Hi! Nakakatuwa lang kasi we realizing with that. Pero bakit nga ba ang title is Pag-asa sa pagbasa? So, we would like to really explain to you saan ba nanggagaling ito. Now that we were able to explain to you guys kung bakit namin to ginagawa in our own little way, because not only that we would like to provide free educational resources, whether it's textbooks, storybooks, or school supplies, not only that, but we also see the need of reading literacy. And I think Pia will tell us about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Novi, for this chance. We were, reading through the Smart Parenting article by Kitty Elikay or Elikay. And in yung PAGA Program for International Students Assessment, out of 79 participating countries, the Philippines scored the lowest in reading comprehension in the 2018 Program for International Student Assessment. It's kind of saddening, no, to hear that. Like Novi said, Pia and Pia, I'm Pia and my friend Pia. we are studio ballet directors of ballet bar in Green Hills, and we feel we also know the need and the I guess the value, no, of reading even to our ballet students. So Pia, di ba you do naman, di ba for our kinder class, we do some reading for our kids. How is that? How do you think that affects the little kids when you do the reading?
As part of our kinder curriculum or in the class, one part there is we have a storytelling time. So I read a book to them, and then we act out the story. So it's like a mime of the story, and they always have fun, and then they always enjoy that part because first they get to read a new story, a new book, and then second they get to dance out that story. So it always works out well, and they always have fun with doing that.
Yeah. So we as ballet teachers, we also see that value of reading, and it's sad lang talaga to hear this report by by the PISA that 79 out of 79 countries, the Philippines scored lowest in reading. So that's just sad. So it's really good that we have this itong pag-asa sa pagbasa. Sana marami talaga tayong matulungan, maraming mag-donate at maraming mag-sign up as our recipients para mabigyan namin kayo ng nararapat na mga aklat.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Sabi nga rito ni Mina, it is sad to know that students nowadays don't enjoy reading anymore. They spend most of their time playing games. Yeah, it's true.
True.
Oo, totoo. Pero ang ganda lang Pia, na-refresh ako doon, Pia Domingo. I didn't know that you read to your small kids. And I like that, Turo mo sa akin yun na pwede pala i-act out and then you dance with what you read. Ang galing. I love that. Thank you.
Ituloy mo na, Novi, yung adult class mo.
Hi, oo nga.
I-reading pa rin
Confession tuloy
namin.
ako dito. Oy, totoo yun. Nagbabali ako with this two Pia. Buti tinatsagaan nila ako, di ba? Ngayon, di ako makabalik dahil nagpaplano nga dahil nag-pandemic. Yun nga lang.
Correct.
Okay. Uy, baka pwede nga. Tayo nag-chika pala tuloy. Baka pwede natin gawin Zoom.
Oh no,
Anyway.
don't tell me magiging next project yan.
Oh, next project. Okay. Thank you so much. But ito, excited ako sa news na sasabihin sa atin ni Jihan about Bonifacio.
Hello.
Jihan, share to us. Yeah.
Yes. As a response to that, here's a real life story of how books can actually help us. So books empower us to rise above the constraints of our present realities. And one classic example I can think of is si Andres Bonifacio. Well, I was going through his story with my daughter. So it said there that he was orphaned early. Tapos he had to take on the responsibility of raising up his siblings. So he did not finish his studies, but then he taught himself how to read, how to speak Tagalog and also Spanish. And then this book showed the books that he read, and he read Les Miserables, The French Revolution, and even if he grew up in the hard part of Tondo, poor and ang dami niyang mga yung mga work niya talaga hindi maayos na mga trabaho, but even if he was there, he was able to transcend his present reality and was able to think of lofty ideas, not just for himself, but also for the country, because he was exposed to good books, to noble books. So from there, he was able to start KKK, and he's now one of our heroes. So that's the power of reading. So if you're a family and you think parang ang hopeless naman para sa anak ko, di makapag-aral na maayos, or we don't have much, books can actually empower your children to be able to think beyond your present reality. Yun lang.
Ang ganda, Gian. I totally agree with that. Pero mo, yung time na yun, actually, hindi naman sobrang dami ng resources na pwedeng makuha ni Andres Bonifacio na everywhere you can get the resources, di ba? I'm sure talagang hinanap niya yun, talagang in-educate niya yung sarili niya, pinaglaban niya, kumbaga, those information na natuto muna siya magbasa on his own, and then hanggang sa nag-progression, because he knows being educated, and syempre hindi niya mababasa yung law at that time kung hindi siya marunong magbasa, di ba?
Yeah.
Oo, paano niya ma-defend ang Pilipinas kung hindi niya alam kung anong rights niya? And ang ganda lang kasi lahat ng facets, kumbaga, I think at that time, di ba, siya yung parang nag-start ng KKK. I to think, di ba, na siya yung nag-start ng KKK, hindi mo may imagine dahil nga galing siya sa not so known family. But because of that, his desire, his courage to be able to educate himself and fight for what is good for the Filipinos, he was able to really bridge that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jihan, for sharing that. Okay. Ngayon, meron po kaming maliit na parang a way of teaching you, parents who are listening right now. Oh, Avic is here. Hi, Janice. Hello, Kat. Hi, June. You are here. Thank you so much. Okay. Hi, Glenda. Hello. Hi, Ellie. Okay. Meron lang po kaming isi-share sa inyo na isang pointers that we learned from Lampara Books. Okay. These are tips on reading for kids 0 to 3 years old, because we believe that we always make time to learn and bond with your children at whatever age they may be. That's why we did this Pag-asa sa Pagbasa. Dahil talaga pong may pag-asa sa pagbasa. Because when you read, and you personally you read, there's a time talaga to be able to get to know yourself, and you get to know your kids as well. And nakalagay nga rito, #learning and bonding time. And #love time. Ako, I still remember when my kids are still small, yung asawa ko kasi Chinky, very animated yun. Pa nagkukwento. Kaya ako, I love every time that he reads to us. Talaga nakikinig ako dahil meron siyang mga mustra-mustra here, tapos nag-change yung boses niya. So, these are some tips that we want to share with you, and I hope it will be helpful in your own homes. Okay, mga dear mommies, let's roll on. So, next. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so first tip, or one of the tips, is to try to read to your child for at least 15 minutes each day. And well, personally, with me and the kids, we read bedtime stories. At We read before we sleep. It's really our bonding time together, and we ever since they were babies, as in zero, as in before 1 year old, we would read, and until now they cannot sleep without me beside them and reading to them. So until now, they are reading on their own. They are into the habit of reading, and they read for themselves as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Kay. Next point.
Read with fun in your voice. Use your face, body, and voice to make reading fun. Use different voices for different characters. These will keep them interested and might inspire their creativity as well. I have, unlike Kay, I have older children now. So, but when they were young, also we used to read to them, and I would be very animated when I would read to them. I would, change the voice and um, make fun of the characters and make it different voices nga. So, I think malaking tulong yon para sa interes ng mga bata kapag iniiba natin yung tono ng boses natin. Ginagaya natin, kunyari, monster or, princess or anything like that. I think magandang masimulan ang mga maliliit na bata sa ganong klaseng paraan ng
Thank
pagbasa.
you. Thank you, Pia. Tinky?
Tip number 3, show your child the words. As you read the book, run your finger along the bottom of the words. Soon your child will realize it is the words that are read and not the pictures.
Wow.
So, ako yung weakness ko kasi yung mga batang marunong mag-spelling at hindi marunong mag-spelling. So, pag namimili kami ng libro, sinasabi namin na hindi acceptable yung text language, yung sinisimplify, TXT. Yan, hindi namin yan, diba? Dapat TEXT.
Yeah.
Yung share ko is not about my child, but again, I'm in an outreach program. I was in Antique. This is mga 7-8 years ago. Nagpa-spelling contest kami, spelling bee. Okay? So medyo nade-depress ako because wala masyadong nagsistand out. Mamimigay sana kami ng scholarship. Kaya alam mo ka, parang walang mananalo dun sa spelling bee. So obviously, the kids were not being trained well, no, for spelling. But there was a word that came up, and there was this child, small boy, payat, maitim, very awkward. He was asked to spell the word courage. So he said that courage, C-O-U-R-A-G-E. Palakpakan yung mga tao, ano? Kasi mukha siyang kawawa, pero marunong siya mag-spelling. Make a long story short, he won a scholarship because of that spelling contest.
Wow.
So I'm always a stickler for reading because I want people to spell. I want children to spell properly.
That's good. Thank you. Galing yung panalo. Next.
Talk about the pictures. Point to the pages and talk about the pictures in the book. Ask your child to look at the pictures for clues to what the story is about. This will give them more participation in the reading bonding. Nung maliliit rin yung mga anak ko, I have 2 kids, but they're teenagers also. When I would tell them the story, I would point on either the words or the pictures ng story para nakikita nila kung yung characters, para naintindihan nila kung sino yung nagsasalita, and then kung ano yung action. And then sometimes I will also count, like if it was like, I will count the, let's say, fairies in the book. Tatanungin ko sila, let's count the fairies. Tapos I'll point to the fairies para makita nila na we're counting, we're learning math, we're counting, and then they can see na fairies sila. So ganun. So it really helps them to learn, to love how to read, and then to appreciate the yung artwork ng nag-illustrate ng book. Lahat yon dapat napapansin nila when they're reading the book. The words, nakikita nila yung words, you point to the words also. And then, lahat yon when
Mommy
you
has
put
a meeting.
together, they will enjoy reading when they grow up. Sasama na yon. Then they'll learn, they start reading the pictures, and then they start reading the words, and then later on, they love na reading.
Next is know when to stop. If your child loses interest or has trouble paying attention, just put the book away for a while. A few minutes of reading is okay. Don't continue reading if your child is not enjoying it. With practice, your child will be able to sit and listen for a longer time. So, reading should not be seen as a dreaded chore, but a delight. So, as one musician said, exposure breeds taste. So, a little bit, but when done consistently, will eventually cultivate their taste for books. So, for me, I have 4 kids. So, um, once they start showing interest in books, I expose them to board books. Like for example, mga 6 months or even 3 months, they play with it. And then now, my dilemma is during bedtime, they would often bring me a stack of books to read. And I'm the one saying, no, no, we are not doing that because they love reading so much. So it starts small, like what was said earlier, 10 to 15 minutes. And then once they have a taste for it, it will be a delight for them. And they'll be nagging you to read and read more and more to them. Next slide.
Okay, hold your child while you read. Sit with your child on your lap as you read. Let them hold the book and help them turn the pages. Being close to them also make them feel safe and loved together with the activity. Diba, especially with smaller kids, they want to run around. But if they're used to being read to, they would love to snuggle. Ang sarap, diba? Snuggle time with them as you read to them. And my kids kasi are college graduates na. I have 3 daughters. Graduate na silang lahat. But when they were little, we would read together. I would read to them. And we shared the same adventures, diba? We met the same friends. We struggled with them. We rejoiced with them at the end of every story, ganyan. And then now, nung lumaki sila na yung nag-i-introduce sa amin ng bago nilang friends. Mom, Dad, read this also, ganyan. And it started na ganito. And ang sarap lang na yakap-yakap mo sila and binabasahan mo sila.
Nakamute ako. Thank you, ladies. Ang gaganda ng tip nyo and yung mga personal experience nyo. Thank you for sharing that. Actually, na-refresh din ako. I still remember when my kids, nagbabasa kami, that's may flashlight sa loob ng blanket. Alam mo yung ganong experience? And then yun nga yung snuggling, cuddling. Alam mo, I have to make a confession. Kahit na ayaw ng mga anak ko na mag-read pa ako sa kanila ngayon dahil lahat sila teenagers, they still allow me. Sabi ko, ito na yung request ko. Can I still read to you? So I still read to them even though they're 17, 19 years old and 14 years old. Because okay, reading is really building relationship.
Yeah.
It's a non-intimidating way of, learning together, and it's always a point of conversation. Point to like good conversation. Siyempre, mag-boil din yan sa pipiliin yung libro eh. 'Di ba? So,
Right.
like now, we taught you 0 to 3 years old because that's really the foundation. And if you build all of these tips through the years, hahanap-hanapin pa rin nila. Okay? Hahanap-hanapin pa rin nila. So, I really thank God for reading. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. But now, we are going to this point with our guests because to our guests, talagang importante po ang reading. At ito po, medyo aalis po ng konti ang ating mga founders. Later, I'm gonna see you. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will see you later. Don't leave muna the studio. Okay. Alam nyo, actually, nakakatuwa lang how God impressed to me to talk to this person. That's my longtime friend. And I know how reading is really important in her life. And she's gonna share it to us. And I would like to thank her personally. And I'm just gonna call her right now, my dear friend, Maricar Reyes Poon. Hello, dear!
Hey! Hello sa lahat ng
Good
followers
evening.
ng iHomeschool and Pag-asa sa Pagbasa. Thank you for having me. Yay!
Yes! O nga, di ba na nag-usap tayo sa
Yahoo!
telepono? Maraming salamat.
Nakakatawa! Grabe yon, super timing.
Oo, kasi may kinuwento ka sa akin, di ba? I'm not sure if you had a
Yeah.
dream or something. What?
No, it's actually, it's something that we've been experiencing for, kasi, okay, wait, we have a Facebook page also, and we don't deal with yung learning, homeschool, ganyan, but a lot of people write to us, so moms, some teenagers, and not all but there are a lot na hindi sila masyado marunong mag-express. And when they write to us kasi about, personal problems, they send personal messages. And then the way nila makwento, minsan parang hindi nila alam what words to use or how to express their emotions. Or minsan parang pag meron kaming sinasagot, we type it out. It's usually na may misinterpret. So, nung sinabi mo sa akin, when you called me and then you said na, the Philippines, hindi tayo magaling sa reading comprehension. Ako parang, oh my gosh, I think you put words into what I was experiencing. I mean, ayoko siyang sabihin kasi syempre, di ba, you want to think good about your country and all. Pero it's a truth It's a truth that we have to really address as the, to help the kids para when they grow up, hindi sila ganun.
Tama.
So, I super timing talaga. I'm like, paano ko to What can I do? Kasi, wala pa naman akong kids and what we do is a relationship matters. It's more for couples or for older people. So, paano yung mga bata? And what you're doing is so perfect. So perfect.
Kaya nga nagpapasalamat kami, Mars. Thank you so
Super
much for
nice.
doing this. You are going to be our first read aloud guest in my Pag-asa sa Pag-asa. Thank you for the privilege. And I know that the kids will and the parents are gonna learn a lot from you and how to you read. And I know, di ba Mars, yung sinasabi ko nga kayo na reading really can make connections. And you love to read. I know you love to read.
I think kasi
it can change a person.
Oo, I mean, I was born in the 80s. So, syempre, yung time ko, wala pang internet as a child. So, you really have to read in order to, get entertainment. Kung walang TV, you play outside, and we'd read. So, ako para feeling ko reading helps me. I mean, I'm not perfect, pero I think reading helped me learn how to construct sentences. Kasi iba yung iba yung sa totoo lang yung stories na mababasa mo sa Wattpad. Iba yung Wattpad sa talagang somebody who is a literary author na, has been there, a book that has been there for many, many years. Iba rin if you have those two things to learn from. Parang it will shape the way you think about the world and how you speak, how you communicate, which is super important when you get older.
Yes. And we need people like that right now. And nakakatuwa lang kasi you modeling it to us and you have a lot of followers could be able to see about Marika nagbabasa di ba? So thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. Sige.
Can I just say na sobrang tama yon yung sinasabi nyo na hold the child when you're reading. Grabe, I can imagine a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old every night nakaupo sa lap ng mom and dad. Buti nga kung both parents are there and he's being read to. Parang it feels so safe. And feeling ko when that kid, kung patuloy siyang ginagawa, when that kid becomes a teenager, hindi siya mahihirapan mag-open up sa parents niya. So, sobra akong na-move nung dinescribe yun. Parang, that's what we need. That's what we need
Yes.
for the future. So, grabe, ang galing.
Yes.
Halata mo siya
Thank you for that, Mars. Yeah, pero yes. Kaya sobrang
Yeah.
nakakatuwa lang kasi for you to be able to tell that, you also have the heart to let the Filipinos na talagang importante ang pagbabasa. At
Yeah.
totoo yun, na may pag-asa sa pagbasa. So, sobrang kami excited for you to read to us. And ano pong napili natin
Wala
ngayon? Siguro? Oo.
Napakasimpleng kwento. It's called The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Ang tagal na pala nito. This was written like 100 years ago.
Yes.
But
I think 1905, if I'm not mistaken. Jihan, is it 1905?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a story that's enduring, and a lot of kids, I'm sure, have read this already. Pero yun, let's just have fun.
Yes.
And, let's be silly and enjoy the tale of Peter Rabbit. Okay, good? All right. The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. So once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank, underneath the root of a very big fir tree. "Now, my dears," said old Mrs. Rabbit, "one morning you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I'm going out." Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down to the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First, he ate some lettuce and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. So busog na siya. And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. But round the end of a cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten his way back to the gate. Naku, paano ba ako makakalabas dito? He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other shoe amongst the potatoes. Oy! After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster, so that I think he might have gotten away altogether if he had not, unfortunately, run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears. But his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew in and greeted him in great excitement and implored him to exert himself. "Don't give up, Peter! Kaya mo yan! Makakalabas ka dyan!" Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve, which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter. But Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. And he rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in if it had not had so much water in it. So basang-basa na siya ngayon. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each one. Presently, Peter sneezed. Achoo! And then Mr. McGregor was after him in no time. And he tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. But, buti na lang, the window was too small for Mr. McGregor. Hindi siya kasha. He was tired of running after Peter. So he just went back to his work. Bahala na yung rabbit na yan. Ay. So Peter just sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright. He had not the least idea which way to go. Grabe, paano ako lalabas dito? Also, he was very damp from sitting in that can. After a time, he began to wander, going lippity, lippity, not very fast, looking all around. Oh, he found a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running in and out over the stone doors, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She just shook her head at him, and Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Ano ba to? May maze ba dito sa garden na to? Presently, he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then, the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it was best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. Baka habulin pa ako nito. Then he went back towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a hoe. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Peter scuttered underneath the bushes. But presently, as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter. But beyond him was the gate. Peter got down very quietly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could go along a straight walk behind some blackcurrant bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner. Oh, but Peter didn't care. He slipped under the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Ay. Ay. Buti na lang. But Mr. McGregor, di niya nahuli yung rabbit, so he hung up the little jacket na iniwan ni Peter and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him until he got home to the big fir tree. Ay, salamat. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking, and she wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. Ano ba tong batang to? Every 2 weeks nawawala yung damit? I am sorry to say that Peter was not very well during the evening. Nagkasakit siya. His mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea, and she gave a dose of it to Peter. Parang gamot. 1 tablespoon to be taken at bedtime. Yuck! But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for dinner. Yummy. The end.
Grabe, hindi ko alam kung ba't ako naiiyak habang nagbabasa ka.
Ha?
Yeah, naiyak ako kasi, I do not know, it speaks to my heart, but I know this story because I've read to my kids many times. Pero,
naalala mo yung
Yeah,
memories
hindi
mo
lang
reading to your kids.
yeah, but the connection that,
Yeah.
there's a connection while you're reading. And I love all those props. I like that when you read, meron kang sinasabing mga Tagalog. O, tingnan nyo, pwede kayo mag-read, di naman kailangan lahat English, di ba?
Yes.
So, pwede yung sabihin nyo para mas maintindihan ng mga bata. Pero, I just want, wala sa script na naisip ko, pero, can you relate with Peter?
Oo. Syempre yung parang, yung curiosity mo, I think that's really good din after, a mother and child or father and child, afterwards they talk about the book. Yun, nakaka-relate ako kay Peter kasi syempre, alam mo naman, minsan gagawin mo yung, pag sinabi ng parent mo na wag gawin, mas gusto mong gawin. Ano kaya yun? Bakit kaya niya pinagbabawal? Try nga natin. Pero in the end, yun nga, parang, lalo na if you're younger, talagang mother knows best, father knows best. Talagang pinagbabawalan ako for a reason. And more often than not, I end up like Peter na I regret, doing the thing.
Yeah.
Kasi
Pero
ako yung parang...
Nakakatuwa lang at the end, di ba, nung umuwi siya, there was a safe environment.
Yes.
Hindi wala ka man lang narinig, di ba? Doon sa mommy niya na, ganito, ganyan, bakit ganito? Wala, di ba? Nakakatuwa.
Bait nga ng mommy niya.
Oo, di ba? Binigyan siya ng chamomile, ba? Yung sabi mong gamot a while ago. Tapos nag-sleep lang, gano'n lang. Nakakatuwa, no? Thank you for sharing this. Thank you
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
So, alam mo kayo, kung kailangan nyo ng tulong with whatever, just let me know. I'm super, super supporting this.
Yeah.
Galing.
Thank you. Ang malaking tulong na yung nagawa mo. So, with Pag-asa and Pagbasa, that's why each and every one, we are inviting you, okay? If you have used or unused books, okay, that you know na mas makakatulong sa iba, okay, please donate it with Pag-asa sa Pagbasa. Follow us in our Twitter, in our Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube. Not only that, Hazel will put all the links in our comments, okay? Pwede rin pong school supplies, at we will make sure, our team will make sure na makakarating po to sa pamilya. Especially, kasi Maricar, di ba, in this time of pandemic, okay, donate your books now. Instructions will be in the comments. Okay. Di ba, in this time of pandemic, Marce, we have encountered some families na hindi sila makabili ng mga materials nila.
Lalo na ngayon na the challenge is how to continue school at home.
Saka hindi lahat may internet Hindi lahat may internet. And,
yes,
and I'm sure parents would really love to use talaga books and learning materials na mahahawakan nila, no? Iba pa rin. Pero, I also thank God for this, like now, nakakapagbigay tayo ng message through this technology. But the end of the day, iba pa rin talaga, no? Iba pa rin talaga. Kasi ikaw, okay, how do you learn best through the years? You know yourself.
Honestly, ako, listening ako Listening, but at the same time, kung may visual din nakasabay, mas mabilis siyang pumasok. So, yun. That's how I learn.
Yeah, pareho tayo. Actually, kahit na, kunyari, walang audiobook, I love that. Not easy to do that too, di ba? Parang, paulit-ulit lang. Kasi madali doon, mapaplay mo, tapos marirewind mo, tapos ulitin mo ulit. But
Correct.
pag ganun, yun nare-retain sa akin. I love audiobooks. Okay, I would like to invite isa-isa ang ating mga founders at Janet, Kay, Tinky, with Maricar, Pia, Jihan. Okay. Mars, we would like to thank you for doing this. Thank you for reading to our
Thank
families
you.
and to the kids. Nakakatuwa yung mga comment nila. Oh. I want it, may mga taga UAE. I want my son and nieces to hear this. Tapos dito, I remember how I read stories to my kids with ad-libs din and realized my kids were amazed with the sound of my voice. Yes, tuloy niyo po yan, Madam Rosemary. Thank you so much sa lahat ng reaction. Thank you so much, Maricar. Okay, to end this, okay na sasabihin natin, give a book,
Shape a mind.
may pag-asa sa pagbasa. Marami pong salamat, Mars. If you want to say last words with us, with our audience, ay naghang ka. Hello, Mars?
Ako?
Medyo naghang ka.
Hello?
If you want to share any last
Naghang
words to
ako.
our audience.
Eto, okay na?
Okay na.
Yeah, we hope pandemic. If you want to donate, if you also want to receive, kasi minsan may mga parang nahihiya or, they don't know where to want to get them, di ba? So, parang may pag-asa talaga. And it starts really with reading. Sobrang laking bagay yon pag tanda ng mga bata. We hope you read
Thank
with
you
your
so
kids.
much. Thank you so much, Mars. Sige, iano lang namin to with all our founders. Thank you. We'll see you in backstage.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, mga dear moms, thank you again for this. It was really a meaningful. Ang dami ko natutunan sa episode na to. Posible pala talaga to. But can you give us a message with your last message, mga moms?
Kami ba, Novi?
Pia. Yeah. Pia. Sige, ballet bars.
Ayan, sige. Thank you sa lahat ng mga sumubaybay. Wow naman, sumubaybay. Salamat sa mga nanood sa launch ng Pag-asa sa Pagbasa. Yun, lahat ng mga sinabi namin kanina, meron talagang pag-asa kapag nagsimula tayo sa reading, no? And really yung intention ng project na ito ay to read within the family. So, sana yung mga nanonood or yung mga kilala niyong mga nanay or tatay na kulang sila sa mga libro na para sa kanilang mga estudyante, especially now na medyo lahat na ngayon halos online no? So kulang sila sa libro. Please let us know through yung comments nga sa comment section. Ilalagay namin how you can donate or how you can receive the books. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Next, maybe from PHA, either Kay or Jihan.
Thank you for all who watched and supported us, especially yung mga nakapagbigay na po ng donation. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. And for those who are in need of books, as Pia said, you are not alone and don't hesitate to reach out. If anything, ngayong pandemic, kung wala masyadong maaaral ang ating mga anak, if they can just have some good books to read, that would be a lot already. So maraming salamat sa inyo.
Thank you so much. Tinky?
July 23 to August 31, it's National Children's Book Month. So, festival.
Galing.
Masaya to. Actually, law na siya, Proclamation number 2365 in 1984. It was declared as National Children's Book Month. But a lot of other institutions like UNICEF, meron din sila ibang other kinds of celebration. Pero maganda na magsimula tayo ngayon. The kids are not in school, in physical school. Let's celebrate the books of the publishers, the illustrators, the authors, by bringing out all those books from your cabinets. And you can decide, are we going to storytell every night? Are we going to give this away? Are we going to share this? So this is a perfect month to celebrate the gift of books and the gift of knowledge.
Okay. Thank you. Ate Janet?
Ang saya nito, di ba? So, if you love books and you read to your kids, let's also share that privilege, makapagbigay ng books, makapagbigay ng saya, and bring together the family.
Okay. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much. Actually, madami na po nag-donate. Actually, I think Hap will donate 200 books. And Tinky, I think, how many books that you have na?
We have on standby 300.
300 books!
We will give
Thank
it in
you so much.
tranches. No? So,
Yes.
just submit your requests. Merong kayong fill up on a form. Let's say your name, taga-saan kayo, ilan ba yung babasahan nyo, ilan ba yung gagamit, makikinabang. Kasi iba din yung pangangailangan yung 3 yung anak, iba yung pangangailangan yung 6 na anak. No? So, these are the things that we take into consideration when we send out those books. We know that your children are just waiting to learn from the books. Please don't hesitate to fill up the form and let us know. Yan, ang dami sa likod. Meron pa sa baba. Si Novi, meron din 200.
Okay.
Sa 12 years namin na nagpapadala ng books.
Yeah. Ito po, I
po talaga
wow.
kami
Yeah, ito lang recently, Judy Estrada, okay, donated. The Hub is gonna donate as well. Meron pong company, Kay, sino yung company na yon na nag-donate? Maybe we can recognize them.
Dream 3RP Good Dream Printers.
Yeah, so nag-donate po sila ng mga notebooks. Ballet Bar, Pia, sino pang nag-donate sa inyo?
Nagpadala ng mga sari-saring libro si Jen Chan sa Ballet Bar. Tapos may 2,000 notebooks from a donor.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much sa lahat po na nag-donate. At mag-donate pa po kayo. And recipients, please, we will put the link in the comments, the link below. And please follow Pag-asa sa Pagbasa and wait for more read-alouds from our dear friends. Okay, na matuto tayo from them as well. Makikita niyo po yung link doon in our Google Docs. Okay, sa Pag-asa Pagbasa, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube account. Maraming po salamat. So, in behalf of iHomeschool PH, Philippine Homeschool Association, okay, Book Hack Reading Activation, Ballet Bar, and Ate Janet Suson.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, give a book.
Shape a mind.
May pag-asa sa pagbasa. Yay! Bye!
Thank you,
God
Novi.
bless everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.